Today I will talk about the intersection of Sednaya Prison, one of the darkest symbols of Syria's recent history, and Stoic philosophy. At first glance, it may seem challenging to connect the teachings of ancient Greek philosophers on virtuous living with a torture site in a war-torn region. However, the human test remains the same throughout history, facing pain, injustice and loss. Stoicism teaches us how to maintain human dignity and inner strength, even in the harshest conditions. The cries of Sednaya and the silent wisdom of Stoicism remind us of this universal truth. The dark reality of Sednaya Prison. Sednaya Prison became one of the most notorious symbols of the Syrian civil war. After the war began, it was used as a detention and torture center for political prisoners. According to Amnesty International, systematic torture, starvation, and arbitrary executions were carried out there. Sednaya was not just a prison, but a place where human dignity was put to the test. Prisoners in Sednaya faced endless interrogations, enforced silence, and unbearable living conditions. These environments are designed to break a person mentally and physically. In such circumstances, how can someone survive? This is where Stoicism comes into play. What is Stoicism? Stoicism is a philosophical school of thought that emerged in ancient Greece and Rome. Thinkers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius emphasized that peace and happiness come not from external circumstances, but from within. Epictetus himself was a slave. Though his physical freedom was taken from him, he never lost his mental freedom. He taught that we should focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. The Stoics' concept of resilience to suffering may provide a way to interpret and endure conditions as harrowing as those in Sednaya. Prisoners in Sednaya and Stoic resilience. The prisoners in Sednaya faced both physical and psychological trials to their limits. Many of them developed mental strategies to endure. Some turned to prayer, while others retreated into their imagination. Stoicism, knowingly or unknowingly, became a survival guide for some. Consider Marcus Aurelius's words, which could shine like a beacon in the darkness of Sednaya. The obstacle is the way. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Imagine the daily life of a Sednaya prisoner. A piece of stale bread, constant fear of death, and no news of loved ones. In such conditions, Stoic philosophy would urge them to accept what is beyond their control and find strength within themselves. As Epictetus once said, "You may chain my body, but my mind will remain free." Many prisoners unknowingly embraced a Stoic way of life. They trained themselves mentally to survive, proving that Stoic philosophy has real-world relevance and power. The universality of suffering and human dignity. The connection between Sednaya and Stoicism lies in the universality of suffering and human dignity. Stoicism is not just a philosophical discipline, it's also a way of life. In Sednaya, people endured the unendurable, refusing to give up hope. As the Stoics taught, no matter how harsh external conditions become, one's inner strength can always endure. This teaches us something even in today's world. While most of us don't face hardships as extreme as those in Sednaya, Stoicism can provide a mental shield against life's challenges. Lessons from Sednaya. The story of Sednaya Prison serves as a warning. We must never forget the dark periods of human history, but it also serves as a source of hope. Even in the most brutal conditions, humanity can find its inner light. Stoicism teaches us how to uncover that light. As we reflect on Sednaya's story, let's remember this quote from Marcus Aurelius. "If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. If it is unendurable, then stop complaining. Your destruction will mean its end as well." This philosophical depth offers a guide, not only for those suffering in Syria, but for anyone enduring hardship across the world. The prisoners of Sednaya remind us to resist pain, while Stoicism reminds us of the strength of the human spirit.